stupid or something.
Mama says stupid as stupid does.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest! Hey!
The story of Jenny Curran. Jenny was the love interest of Forrest from the 1994 movie Forrest Gump. It was a comedy about a guy from Greenville, Alabama, who went on to achieve things most could only dream of, despite being diagnosed with a low IQ and as a cripple at an early age. Forrest only had one love interest throughout the entire film, and that was Jenny. And it was love at first sight from the moment he saw her on the bus from his very first day of school. In pop culture references, she's remembered for her famous line,
Run, Forrest, run!
which plays a significant impact on Forrest throughout the entire movie. Playfur Cinema has added her to the list of wrongly antagonized list of females, and like usual, we're here to tell her story. Jenny Curran, played by Robin Wright as an adult and Hannah Hall as a child, was born on July 16, 1945 in Greenville, Alabama. Her mom passed away when she was still 5 years old, leaving her and her two sisters at the mercy of their predatory father, who was taking sexually abusive liberties with them. Before Bubba, she was Forrest's first and only friend, and chances are it was the same for her. The sun could be setting, and yet she always wanted him to stay with her, never wanting to go home. It was because she was terrified of her dad. They taught each other a lot of things growing up, but Jenny telling Forrest to run was the most crucial. Not only did running break him away from his knee brace as a kid and led him to a life of success, but it arguably kept him alive a lot longer when he could have been laying dead out in the fields of Vietnam.
I ran and ran, just like Jenny told me to.
One day, when she didn't show up to school, he went to a little white house looking for her, and she was already outside, hiding from her father. And when he went chasing after her, she hid out in the fields with Forrest and prayed to God to become a bird so she could fly away. Soon after, she was taken away to live with her grandmother, which was still very close to Forrest. He was a big source of comfort for her enough that she would sometimes sneak out to sleep over with him whenever she felt scared. They stayed close friends up to high school and college. It was the college period we started to see Jenny's childhood drama begin to affect her relationships, with Forrest included. When she took him back to her dorm on campus, after telling him about her dreams to be a singer with her guitar, while sitting on the bed together, she has a moment of weakness with him where she exposes herself to him. Based on his reaction, she likely felt guilty, feeling guilty over the idea that Forrest wasn't aware enough to know what was happening. There's a recurring theme in the movie, and that is, if Forrest thinks you are hurting his Jenny, he'll have zero hesitation laying hands on you. And Forrest, on a handful of times, has had to whoop somebody's ass even when they looked like they were mistreating her. At some point, he managed to graduate after just 5 years of playing football. After joining the army, a recruit gives him a dirty magazine, and Jenny was in it wearing her college sweater. When the school found out, they expelled her. When the showrunner found out about her photo, he offered her a job on stage singing. But no one in the crowd cared anything about that. It was just her getting taken advantage of as she sat naked on stage while guys touched her inappropriately. And of course, Forrest was having none of it, as he shoved him away and attempted to carry her off stage. When he finally tells her, "I love you," her response was,
"You don't know what love is."
Which is the irony. Forrest understood it even better than her. Constant sexual mistreatment from other men was how she thought things were supposed to be, while one below average intelligence person treated her like a human. On the bridge, we soon learned Jenny had been contemplating suicide. And you had to know, if she jumped, he would have jumped in with her. She eventually leaves for a while, catching a ride with a complete stranger. But before she does, she tells him the best advice she could give him, and that was to run when you feel things are getting bad. Forrest was just supposed to be some stupid no-life cripple the world wouldn't care existed. But instead, over the course of the movie, he became a college football champion, a ping pong champion, a Medal of Honor holder, meets a handful of presidents, and becomes a millionaire with his shrimp boat business. The boats which he named Jenny. Jenny, on the other hand, ends up traveling around the country as a hippie with her demons and living a life of self-destruction that revolved around drugs, PTSD, and men taking advantage, exploiting her, beating her. After the scene on the bridge, it became a thing for her to pop into Forrest's life only to disappear yet again. After coming close to suicide yet again, she finally returned home to Forrest. It was like old times again, only she slept a bit more and was a lot more quiet than usual. One day, while on one of their walks, they eventually came across her old home, where all her deep-rooted trauma began. And the little girl that never fully healed grabbed a handful of rocks and took her frustration out on it. Just when things seemed like they were finally in order, Forrest asked her to marry him. But she hesitated, even though she acknowledged he would be a good husband. She just didn't feel she was worthy of anyone as kind as him. But later that night, she finally gave in to him. And so, the next day, without saying goodbye, she called a cab and raced out of his life yet again. Still likely a mix of guilt and not feeling she deserves happiness. When Forrest wakes up and sees that she's gone again, with the new shoes she gave him, he starts a meaningless run clean across the country that lasts for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours. At some point during that run, Jenny sees him on TV while working at her job at the diner and reaches out to him. They finally reunited again at her new apartment in Savannah. Here she takes the time to apologize to him if she hurt him in any kind of way, admitting she was going through some changes. Right before her son gets home, Forrest Jr., named after his dad, Forrest Gump. When Jenny tells him, he becomes alarmed, but she has to remind him he did nothing wrong. The timing of Forrest Jr. throws part of the film into debate because he was clearly a bit older than the last time Jenny and Forrest were together. After the last time she and him had sex, she got up the next day and left. Soon after, Forrest went on his 3-year run. After his run, it's not specified how long it took for her to get in contact with him again. There's no reason to believe Jr. was already born 3 years ago, but it makes people question if she was just pawning a kid off on Forrest. They do share a father and son head tilt together. Truth be told, we're not supposed to question it, just accept it. The three end up going to the park together. While sitting together with Forrest on the bench, she tells him that she has an unknown illness. Based on the time period of where the movie was, the doctor couldn't identify it yet. When the film came out, the answer likely wasn't clear yet either to most, but today we know she had AIDS. The two would finally get married, and they would all move in together back in Forrest's home in Greenbow. From there, he would take care of Jenny until she had to leave him one last time. She passed away on March 22, 1982. Forrest had her buried under their childhood tree, where he would visit her every day. He eventually went back to her old home and had it bulldozed away.
I miss you, Jenny. If there's anything you need, I won't be far away.
And that was the story of Jenny. She finally became the bird that flew away. Thank you for watching episode 1 of Human Girl Profiles. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.